أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Following on from my previous lecture, today we will start with trying to understand the different definitions of hadith, the terminologies that are used by the scholars on categorizing different types of hadith. And in this regard, we shall try and understand what the science of Usul Hadith is. Different hadiths are given different names. For example, we have Sahih, we have Sahih li Zatihi, Sahih li Ghairihi, Hasan li Zatihi, Hasan li Ghairihi, we have Zaif, we have many different types of hadiths, and inshallah we are going to look at all of them. But first of all, there is a term that is used by the ulama, which is Mustalahul Hadith. And this is a name, a definition of this is, it is a term. There is an agreement amongst the scholars of a particular field in using certain terms, in using specific words to describe something. For example, you will board a plane and the captain will speak in English or Urdu, but he will use a language, although he is speaking Arabic or he's using English or he's using Urdu, a language that we all understand, but then he will use certain terms, certain phrases that only his colleagues, the crew or the pilots will only understand, or the people he is communicating with. Similarly, so this is a form of communication between them. So these are words, these are phrases that only they understand. It's a language that they understand. And the police organizations use words, phrases that only their department understands. And doctors use these words, physicians use these words, phrases, and doctors use many different terms. But they only understand, although they're speaking English, but only they will understand what they are meaning. And in the similar way, in the world of hadith, the muhaddithin, they use certain words, certain phrases to categorize hadiths on their credibility, what strength they have, what is it accepted or is it rejected? Do we accept this hadith with open arms, or do we reject it? And do we reject it, but how much do we reject it? How much reliable it is? And in this regard, like for example, if a person uses the word Sahih, and we would commonly in Urdu, Arabic, we would consider it to mean something which is correct, opposite to something which is not correct or wrong. But in the science of hadith, it means a hadith that fulfills the conditions, the 5 conditions of a Sahih hadith. This is a totally different terminology. And this is what we're going to try and understand. We use another word, we use Hafiz. And Hafiz, when we use the word Hafiz, it usually refers to somebody who has memorized the Quran Majid, Furqan Hamid in its entirety. But in the world of Usul Hadith, a Hafiz would be somebody who has memorized over 1,000 ahadiths with the chains and the text, which is called the Sanad and Matan. Inshallah, we're going to go into that as well. So it is, in short, Mustalah means terminologies, okay, definitions of certain ahadiths. So what is the meaning of the science of hadith? What is the definition? So in this video today, we're just going to look at 3 things: the definition of hadith, the subject of a hadith, and the objective. 3 items, like in my previous lectures, all the other teachings that I do, and this is only for my students. This is not only for my students, but it is majority of it is for my students, because we live in England and we want to try and understand everything in English. So the definition, although a lot of scholars, alhamdulillah, have written many books on these sciences, but I was requested by some of my students to do something in English. So I'm alhamdulillah, I have made a start today, and inshallah I will try my best to do the best that I'm capable of doing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the ability to try to understand the works that our predecessors have put together and left for us. And in this regard, we are going to try and understand the definition of hadith. But these are only short lectures. But so what is the definition of usul hadith? What is the definition of the science of hadith? The ulama have written, huwa ilmun bi usulin wa qawaida yu'rafu biha ahwalu sanad wal matan min haysul qabul wal rad. So the definition is that it is the set of principles by which you identify the status of the chain, the sanad, and the status of the text, whether it is accepted or rejected. And the text would be the matan. Inshallah, we're going to discuss that as well. Every narration consists of two parts. One is the sanad and the other one is the matan. One is the chain and one is the actual text. The other is the actual text. The first part of the hadith consists of names of narrators, and this is called the sanad. Okay, the chain or the chain, and the text of the hadith is what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wa alihi wa sallam said, and what he did is called the matan. Okay, inshallah, we're going to go into detail about this as well, inshallah. The next is the subject. So what is the subject? The subject, wa mawdu'uhu. The subject of usul hadith, the science of hadith, is as-sanadu wal matan min haysul qabul wal rad. So the subject is hadith, simply the chain, trying to understand the matan and the chain, the sanad and the matan, trying to understand. This is our subject. This is what we're trying to do. And what is the objective? The objective is tamyizu sahih min al-qasim min al-ahadith. Is to act on the approved after we have learned the principles, the foundations, and the circumstances, and so to act on what is accepted and to abandon what is disapproved, what is not accepted. This is the objective of usul hadith. Inshallah, in my next video we will start with the definition of a hadith and what khabar would be.